All right, what's up, everybody? If you've been active on the Discord, you would know Starbucks stock has been crashing recently. I have not made a real video explaining why I believe it's crashing, but I have been buying up the dip recently, and it's getting to a price where I really do think long term there is a lot of value to be held here for the growth and the type of earnings that they've been producing. But the big reason right now, there's a lot of fear amongst Starbucks. Starbucks, you're going to see a lot of headlines and stuff that I'm going to go over today that says they've lost $11 billion. They're losing all these sales. You see all these boycotts when in reality, it's just a bunch of propaganda, and Starbucks is the victim of another political attack. So I'm going to be giving you guys all the updates you need to know today, shilling my Starbucks stock once again here on the channel. If you guys are new here to the channel, essentially Starbucks is one of my biggest positions in the portfolio. Very bullish on the company long term. If you haven't already, go check out the playlist of all my Starbucks. I made about like 15 videos just going over why I love the company so much. But let's go over this video. This is reported by First Post, which is an Indian news source. I did a little bit of research. There's no crazy political bias or any motives that I could find off the very, little kind of background lateral reading that I did do. But of course, you're going to see here, I believe this, is very politically attacked, and more specifically at Starbucks. But we're going to go over it. I'm going to share my reaction and my thoughts. Let's go over it. Before we get into that, though, smash the like button, subscribe for me. That's all I ask for. Check out the Cashflow Kings too, live every Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern. All right, let's get into it.
Our next story features Starbucks. The coffee giant has a big problem. In their language, a grande problem. The company has lost around $11 billion. That's 10% of their value, just wiped off.
That's market cap, everybody. This is exactly what I'm saying. Like, anytime you see these headlines, you saw it a lot with the Target too. They lost $11 billion. No, they didn't lose $11 billion. They lost it in market value, which can easily be recovered. You don't see that they gained $11 billion, especially if they do recover. Look at a company like Target. You saw so many reports over the summer. They lost 15 billion. They lost 10 billion. They lost all this. Where are those reports now that they've recovered? So you're going to see a lot of this, and it's very easy. If you don't know what you're doing when you're investing, to be scared of this, sell at the bottom. So I think that's just something very important to note.
How did it happen? Thanks to the Israel-Hamas war. Starbucks supported Israel. This led to a boycott. Then there were strikes. Starbucks union stood in solidarity with Palestine, and all of this has driven away customers.
See, this just isn't accurate reporting whatsoever. They never once came out and said that they supported Israel or Palestine, in fact. We're going to get into it very soon of why is that, but this is just fake reporting. That's clearly a political attack on Starbucks. They're the big, scary corporation, and there's a lot of people that don't like them right now for the union. So there you go. And when you take up side like this, you're often going to get a lot of clicks and hope maybe donors even.
It's like no one likes their coffee flavored with political tension. But what does it mean for Starbucks, the company? Can they survive this onslaught? Our next report explores.
How do you like your coffee? Hot, cold, with a dash of cinnamon, or with a side of political tensions? Well, it depends on who you ask, but looks like politics and coffee don't go hand in hand. And Starbucks is learning it the hard way. The coffee giant has lost $11 billion in value. That's nearly 10% of the company's value erased.
See, this they just keep harping on this, and it's just like very deceiving for if you don't understand what market cap is. You can pull up any company during COVID-19. They lost 25% of their market value. Oh no, guys. It's very stupid and very misleading as well. So just be once again very careful reading into this.
So, what explains this? Were the holiday flavors not up to the mark? Or are customers tired of pumpkin spice? Sadly, it's none of that. Customers still love their overpriced lattes, but not with a political opinion.
Sadly, that's a good thing if you're a shareholder. See, it's just like so they really did a really bad job at hiding their attack against Starbucks here.
After the Israel Hamas war broke out, Starbucks found itself in hot water. Like many companies, it expressed support for Israel.
They
But
didn't
that
though.
didn't go down well in West Asia. In November, Starbucks in Egypt reportedly laid off workers. It was forced to cut expenses. Why? Because there were just no customers. Then there are the Starbucks unions. It's called Starbucks Workers United. They reportedly posted solidarity with
Here we go. All right, this is where it gets really interesting. So first of all, to clarify the point, of course, they're going to be closing stores in the Middle East during a war. That's just how rational business would operate, to be frank. Once again, they're kind of trying to paint a bad picture on here, against Starbucks. But here, this is the interesting stuff. So the Starbucks Workers United is basically the unions. And if you guys have watched my channel, I don't like the unions. I think that they're a bunch of entitled little pricks, to be honest. If you look at Starbucks' pay, compared to any part-time minimum wage job, which the role is completely, to be honest. You're not a kid growing up and say, I want to be a Starbucks barista for the rest of my life and expect, $30 an hour for a job that a high schooler could do, to be honest. So I've already shared my thoughts on previous videos on that. So essentially, they came out and tweeted on behalf of the entire Starbucks corporation. So this is like 0.001% of the corporation saying that we stand with Palestine. Believe it or not, that's probably not a good look for the entire corporation for one person to say on behalf of 1,000 people that we stand with a certain group, especially with a war like this where there's just a lot of different perspectives and point of views. I can't even make it, a statement for myself of which side I support. There's just so many moving parts, and I don't even like to think about it. And a lot of people get very emotional very fast about this. So Starbucks, the corporation itself, if I went over the earnings report, I went over all this stuff, they essentially asked them to delete this because this is just saying a false statement on behalf of a company that they just didn't approve of.
Palestine on X. The tweet was swiftly deleted.
Of course, it's going to be deleted. If you have one person saying that I support Palestine on behalf of an entire corporation, and you're going to lose a customer base. You don't want to lose any customer base. People are just, perceiving this very stupidly. It's one of the dumbest reasons, I think, for a boycott I've ever seen in my entire life. Onto the video.
But it sparked calls for a boycott. Starbucks also distanced itself from the comments, but the damage was already done.
Of course they are. They're not going to take sides in a political war. Like, I don't why would you make a comment if you're going to say we support one side, you're going to lose the other side in a customer base. It's not good for you no matter what side you take in this. It's just so stupid.
Then came the strikes. Starbucks workers.
And I'll say this too. Of course, the unions are going to harp on any opportunity they get to attack the big mean corporate. Of course, they're going to take any opportunity they possibly can. I bet you most of these union people know deep down too that they're just attacking them for a very stupid reason. So very, very, what do you expect?
Are unhappy with their jobs. They feel they're underpaid, understaffed, and don't have enough rights. So they decided to strike, not in one store, but in 200 stores across America. The result? Slow sales during the holiday season.
So basically, Starbucks puts these promotions on us that is like buy one, get one free drinks or double star days. And they put more and more work on the actual baristas and the workers without giving us any of.
No comment. I have no comment on this at the further moment. Boo-hoo! I have to work more. Oh no! Oh no! I'm doing a part-time job, and they're not giving me 45 an hour. Oh no! Oh, shut the.
Ability or control to turn off mobile orders, which puts such a stress on us.
I mean, I was.
Oh no! Oh no! I've made an entire video, guys, by the way, going over Starbucks' worker benefits for a part-time job, by the way. Free health care, paid time off, above minimum wage page. What do you, no comment. You go watch the video.
I was almost homeless last week. Even though I work at a store that supposedly pays better, they've been withholding card tip from us. So the amount of money you make is not enough to make rent. It's not enough to get groceries.
A couple response to that. Go to college, invest in yourself, and instead of spending all this time complaining and crying about not getting a better job, actually put in the work and build something up for yourself. That's all.
All of this has contributed to Starbucks' woes. Stocks have declined for 12 consecutive market sessions. This is the longest ever recorded streak ever since.
This was 3 months ago, by the way, guys, just for a little update. And it's trading about $5 down from where it was since then.
The company went public in 1992. Currently, the stock is hovering at around $95. down from a yearly high of around $114. The coffee giant is still optimistic, but the losses don't paint a good picture. Who knew that a simple cup of coffee could be so politically charged?
All right, there you go. So essentially, you know, to sum this video up for you guys, with the Starbucks Palestine Israel thing, they don't want to take a side in any of it. No company does want to. This happened actually locally with a recent taco chain that we had a few years ago. You don't want to take political sides in any business. It's not a good look for you whatsoever. You don't, because if you do take one side, you're going to lose the other side, customer base. You just want to remain neutral in the entire thing. The best move for the business, and that's what Starbucks is clearly trying to do. Anybody with half a brain and no bias against a big corporation would understand that. I think it is very stupid. You know, of course, the media is going to harp on this as much as they possibly can. I believe this is creating a really good long-term buying opportunity, so I'm a little happy about it as an investor. But it is one of the dumbest reasons that I've ever seen a stock trade down. And the unions basically are going to be harping off of any opportunity they can to get mad at the big corporation. So there you go. Thank you all for making it to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed my, hopefully my little rant here. But essentially, it's in my opinion, a very good long-term buying opportunity. The unions, I've made a video on that. Go watch it if you haven't already. All right. I appreciate you all making it to the video. Do dividends, talk about drugs, do what the sign says back there. And of course, have a good one.